Now that, my friends, is an old bridge. And this, my friends, is a new bridge. No, I mean this is literally new bridge. So this looks interesting, my friends. We've got a roadblock. I wonder if this is relevant to the video. Let's find out, shall we? If we head back to this lovely old bridge here, which is the main focus of this video, this is Pont Cysylltu or Cysylltu Bridge, or even simply just Bont Bridge. I personally, when I'm talking about this place to people, call it the Old Stone Bridge because it's so easy for it to be confused in a conversation with its more famous neighbour, which we'll see in just a moment. Now I'm sure that inscription says 1699, but I've read elsewhere that this was built in 1697. But I think we can generally rest assured that this is from the end of the 1600s and is a very old bridge. And of course, the more famous neighbour that I was alluding to is the mighty Pont Cysylltu Aqueduct. So if you've ever been lucky enough to cross over there, you may well have seen this humble little scenic stone bridge from a wonderful vista and viewpoint on the aqueduct itself. But why on earth am I drawing attention to this humble little old bridge at this particular point? Well, as I mentioned in the opening of this video, there's indeed not too far away a roadblock by Newbridge, and the reason that road is blocked, well, I'm imagining it should be pretty obvious from the footage you're seeing on the screen. There is a significant road collapse, and that's the road collapsing into the same River Dee that is going beneath our humble old stone bridge. I'm certainly not about to get political, but you can imagine that local people are unimpressed that that road has been left to collapse for years on end now. And because it's so close to the old bridge, and there's so few crossings of the River Dee around here, the old stone bridge has become one of the main routes to cross the river and cross over to the far side of the valley for people in the local villages and even further afield. As you can see, even with just me walking down the centre, the bridge looks, feels and is very narrow, and it feels a lot narrower if you're passing over it on a car. It's almost amazing that they had the foresight back then to think people might want to drive their Teslas across here. I think one would fit. Don't quote me on that though. On a serious note though, I think the warning signs make it abundantly clear just how narrow this bridge actually is, and how many bigger vehicles simply would not be able to cross it, even if they could get down the winding narrow lanes to it. There's a main bypass route that crosses the river a few miles from here, and that will occasionally be closed or have delays, and they actually come and close these roads off to this bridge to make sure that you don't accidentally get articulated wagons turn up and have a significant challenge with the lanes and of course the impossibility of crossing the bridge. The reason that I've done this video now is not just because it is an absolute, I suppose almost a hidden gem, because people get to see it from the aqueduct but never really come and see it in any serious numbers up close like this. But also I wanted to draw attention to this because it's become such a more common feature and average part of many local people's lives, using this bridge to cross the river and cross from one side of the valley to the other, that in some ways I absolutely hate the fact that it's almost like we're regressing as the main Newbridge Road has collapsed and has been in that state and worse over the last couple of years, and yet here we are having to go back and lean on the work that was done hundreds of years ago to keep relatively convenient passage and traffic over the river. Yet at the same time, I absolutely love the fact that we can do that. I love the fact that this was built with such good quality and rebuilt in the 18th century, so still, it's a very, very old bridge, even if you just count the rebuilding. And yet here it is, durable, solid, and still in literal daily commuters' use from modern motor vehicles. Absolutely fantastic, and what an absolutely beautiful construction it is, especially if you go and compare it to the modern bridge at Newbridge. Lovely stuff.